Hello, greetings everybody. Welcome to the March Club Couture Live. Okay. Hope everybody's doing well. He's checking live streams, make sure everything is up and running so you guys can watch us. Let us know you're out there. I hope you're all out there.
Okay, we're on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube's good.
Okay, now in Facebook, I have to go in and edit the links because if I don't do that, it hides the video because it thinks I'm spammy.
You're not spammy.
But according to Facebook, I am.
Facebook has they just got to get their act together.
I got to get their act together.
Of course, we need to get Facebook fixed on eCam. So
What's wrong with eCam?
Because see, it always comes up as you.
The only way to fix that is they have to have eCam as their friend. And give them access because Facebook is so private now. It's very hard on Facebook to do anything.
Have you guys got wind? Oh, yes.
It's bad. But it's I think we're going to be fine.
50 to 70 miles an hour. Yeah. Luckily, my one neighbor got rid of his big tree, so it can't hit us. But my other neighbor has one that could hit us.
I wish we could do the live out there because I'm having a hot flash. Maybe a side effect. We got our COVID thingies.
Yeah, we got COVID shots.
I love this.
Spray. So who's our Facebook person? I gotta go to our thing and look at it.
Here you go while I go through all this.
You don't have to go there.
Well, I'm going to be over here for a while.
Right.
Okay, guys. So I'm going to try to keep this beginning part short so we can get to the projects, and that way you guys can skip. If you're watching the replay, let us know and say hi. Couple of things. Number one, we are happy to announce that this is the only place I think we're going to be using the 2-camera system. It's going to be a benefit for Club Couture members only, which I'm really excited about. So that's number one. Number two, I want to thank you guys so much. It has been a rough month. You would think someone that just got back from Maui would be fine. The last 2 weeks have been just rough. And with my mom's birthday, and then just it's coming up to the 1-year anniversary of us having the puppies, so all of my Facebook memories are of Han and the puppies and Toby. So it's just been a rough month. And then I had a migraine for the past probably week, really bad for the last 2 days, and we got approved for a COVID vaccine. And I wasn't going to go get it because of the migraine, and Sean's like, "You're getting it," and we feel good. You feel good.
It's just the sore. That's I move my arm around, but it's just like any other shot. Yes, it's just a little sore, but other than that, no side effects.
I want to cover all of the stuff in the email really quick. I'm going to share my desktop. I do want to let you guys know your Happy Meal is coming. For those of you who do not know, you guys get some pretty cool benefits as exclusive to you being a Club Couture member of ours. And one of those is every quarter is Happy Meal.
Yes, it is.
And this quarter's theme is like basically a spring clean start thing. It's like, I'm just going to say, you guys know me. I like to make a list and be organized. I have my favorite pen, so just get excited. Right. So those should ship out the first week of April. That will be quarter 1 Happy Meal. Yep. And then, of course, you guys get a package probably every quarter. Yeah. Sean has a little heart attack because he always looks at the price and he's like, "That's a lot of money." And I'm like, "That's because we have a lot of Club Couture members and we're blessed," right?
Just think if you had Debbie's version. She's got...
Listen. Oh my God. Do not compare.
I'm not comparing. I'm just saying,
imagine if you
did that. If you had that.
She has a lot. She has like 600, maybe over 1,000 now. Congratulations. That is amazing. She is a rock star. Okay, so let's talk really quick. I'm going to share my screen. I want to quickly talk over all of this. This email I just sent out, it's pretty long. I'm not going to go into it too deep, but I do want you guys to know a couple of things here. I'm going to close out the comments here really quick, but so if you're watching this, you should be on YouTube or Facebook. This is the March Club Couture Wild and Free, the one we're going to be using today. This is not the right one. Un momento, por favor. This is the old one. I was like, that's weird. There we go. Much better. Okay. So this up here, I've been getting a lot of questions. What's this? I understand our emails have a lot in them. So I give you guys little contents to look there. So that way you can see if you don't want to read something, you can skip around. So quickly, I will let you guys know this is the live we're doing right now. Please do not share our Club Couture lives. This is an exclusive perk just for Club Couture members. We do show a lot of third-party products. We talk about a lot of stuff. And it's an unlisted YouTube video, but a few people have been sharing them. Please ask me before and let me know who you're going to share them with. You guys know we have our Facebook group. I've been getting a lot of questions on, can you please in the email give us all the links in the video, because once the video is done, sometimes we don't, we can't find the links. So there's all the links. Want to remind you guys that we have a couple more days in March to get your 25% off in. I also gave a link on how to place your order. We have a lot of new Club Couture members. And Sean and I have been doing this so long, and we have so many of you guys that are amazing club members that have been doing this so long, that we forget that new people might be like, what the heck, chicken neck? So here is our ordering process, how it works, how to make payments. Sean will be giving you tracking numbers, all of that stuff. We'll talk about this because I'll show you this live, the Creamy Dreamy Lunch Pack. I wanted to let you know that there is a one of the Creamy Dreamy triple packs came into stock. These are 25% off. I cannot combine them with the Club Couture discount because it's limit 1 per pack or per member. But this here is the one in stock, Soft and Subtle Paste Pack. So it's bright white, eucalyptus, and daffodil. Don't forget, for every $100 you spend, you get an entry into our Club Couture contest. So in the month of March, if you did 4 different orders and it equaled $600, you get 6 entries. You're going to want to fill out that form 6 times. Okay, we're going to talk about this here in a sec, but basically I do have some SVGs created only for Club Couture members. This will take you to a Dropbox and you can see them all. And obviously this one is the Wild and Free. Now the SVGs essentially are to work with our transfers. So like this one here is a 1/4 of an inch. It's the whole thing, the Wild and Free, and then the flowers broken up. So please do not share these. These are for Club Couture. This is a perk of being Club Couture, and we are going to be doing it for pretty much all of the transfers. It just takes a little bit of time, but they will always be there for you guys. I don't want you guys to forget that if you refer a friend to join as a club member and or a designer, you get a $20 shopping spree. Let's talk about the paste. So right now, the paste is all the new formula. So if you are going to order paste from us, it will be new, no more of the old stuff. If you do get paste that it does not look creamy dreamy, make sure to let us know so we can fill out a reorder form. Shipping update. Sean has been pretty good about going in and getting you guys your tracking numbers as soon as they become available. Chalk Couture has been updating us every single day where we are at. During our live, we're going to talk a little bit about the shipping update. And then, of course, if you need help or have questions, all of that is down there. I do want to tell you guys that right this weekend, these are the beds our dogs lay on during our lives. And at first, I thought they were stupid. And I was like, okay. And a company reached out to me and I was like, they kind of look cheap. And you know, we had to get a double XL and it, you know, $220 and but a 109. And so they sent me one, and I have to tell you something. Riles is picky on her beds, and she loves these. Loves this because of the little area where she can put her head. And we'll show you during if we walk around. But the reason I'm telling you guys this is today's the last day you can actually get 40% off the 50% off. So all of these are already 50% off. But if you use my code KenH40, it takes another 40% off. So let me go ahead and take, for 2 beds, shipping and everything is $131, and that would normally be $250. So I always like to share with you guys being Club Couture members. So if that is something you want to take advantage, let us know. All right, Johnny, thank you. All right, so I can move this. Sean can show you the project we made already with the saw. Using the Wild and Free. I got my ice water. I got just ice. I might make coffee. I have my fan. And it's really windy out. So, really windy. Like they sent out an alert on our phones. Yeah. Windy. So, all right, Johnny. I'll be right back.
All right, here is what we did not too long ago. For those who did see it, as you can see, it's 3-dimensional. We did this on a... This is a bigger type saw than you normally would see if you go out and buy saws, or if you have some in, you know, maybe your grandfather may have had one or something. But this is a lot bigger. It's got a wooden handle, but this may have been encased in wood. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but it's very weird that it's got an actual metal handle on it. It's very, very cool. We love it. It's gorgeous and it's heavy. It's a heavy song.
Yeah.
Very, very neat.
So a couple things. Number one, we're pretty excited. We have kind of once again went through as a company, me, Sean, and Jazzy, and we already have a ton of Chalk Couture stuff coming. I do want to announce Club Couture, I'm kicking it up a notch. So starting in April, you guys are going to get a couple more perks. Number one perk is you guys will be the only ones that get the eCam experience, which is the 2 cameras live, one above, one ahead of us, and the mics. The reason we're doing this is Jazzy is taking our videos from different places and editing them, and it's really hard for her to edit out Sean's photo. Yep. So we're going to turn it into a perk here. We are also going to have a artwork contest.
Nice.
So in the month of April, so as soon as it's kind of weird because it's going to go last month because some people don't get their Club Couture until the end of the month. So in the month of April, it will be show me everything you've done with the Wild and Free. And then we'll vote as Club Couture members and someone will win a shopping spree. Right. And then, like I was saying earlier, another perk is the SVGs. Now, I cannot stress this enough. These SVGs cannot be shared with anyone. They cannot be sold. They cannot be given away. I am only giving them to my Club Couture members, and it's going to be very rare that I even say anything about them because what we do is we actually use the design. I create the SVG. It takes me a while to do it, but it's awesome. So if you have a Cricut, a Silhouette, or anything like that, you can cut it on chipboard. You can cut it on heavy cardstock, watercolor paper. If you have a Glowforge, you'll be able to cut it on the Glowforge. Yep. I just ask that you don't share the SVGs. You are more than welcome to cut as many as you want and make pretty things and sell that. We cannot make money on those SVGs and let them out of the group. It would be a big no-no. Okay. You guys should have, in your March Club Couture, if you were a Club Couture member in last month, you should have gotten this. It's our new Creamy Dreamy Chalkology paste, a dream come true. And I actually really like what they did. So they sent everyone this cute little card that says, "Hello, friend. We've recently reformulated our Chalkology paste and we're just beside ourselves with the amazingness of this Creamy Dreamy paste. We wanted you to be able to try it free, so here's a little gift from Chalk Couture to you on exclusive transfer, 2 paste singles. It's about $10 retail. And here's the transfer. So this only designers and Club Couture members are the only ones getting this. And in fact, this is not even a size of one of our current transfers. Anytime they send us like a fun transfer for the holidays or our birthdays, it's always in this size here.
A little smaller, yeah.
And then, of course, they sent you guys the new formulation in guava and bright white. So that's kind of fun.
Some people might have gotten a different color, but we don't know.
No, I think everyone got it because the project's that color.
There you go. That's probably
there you go. There you go. I'm going to move this out of the way just so we don't destroy it. Yeah. And then we're going to get started on our first project. Hi, Fifi.
First project. Hello. Who said hello? Charlotte said hello. And hello, Sheila.
Hi, Sheila. Okay, so this month's project, can we go down there, Shawnee?
Yep.
Was done on a double-sided box frame. And I'm going to show you something here. Sean, can you zoom in there and see if we can get that discolorization?
Right there? Yeah. You can see how this is white and there's a little bit of a tan here. Kind of bizarre. So
here's the deal. If you guys get something, I always recommend if you order, you guys know how we do this. So we, as a Club Couture member, you get the 25% off. We place the order, have it directly shipped to you. So we don't get to check the contents. It used to be come to us, we would check the contents, good to go. Now we don't. It is so vital that if you get something, we have 30 days to make a claim on it. So check your surfaces, open up your paste jars, check your transfers. Now, Chalk Couture has been really, really good. And if it's over 30 days, especially on transfers, they're very understanding. The reason I'm bringing this up, we have noticed our new transfers. There's been a few that are really sticky and really, there's just something off about them. Chalk Couture knows about it. So if you have that, please let us know because we want to fix it and we want to do it for you. You're more than welcome to call into Chalk Couture and do that. But as a couturier, we get expedited service. So we can get right through. So anyways, the reason I'm bringing that up is down here, sometimes our box frames will have this little stain. Literally just take our board eraser very gently. Do not do it very hard, but very gently. And basically, this is just the color of this. That it looks like maybe just got in the way or something. And then I just very gently start going in, and you can already see it's disappearing. And a lot of people, it doesn't bug them, but this is also a fun way to get more distress if you want a little bit more of a distress pattern on your box frame. But if it bugs you and you got that and you're like, ooh, I really don't, I'm not in love with that, let us know. Right, Shani?
That's right.
See, even like something like this, see, I think sometimes they're paint. See, like there's a blunt. Maybe I just have too high of standards. Maybe that's the problem. All right, let's get started. I'm not going to spend too much time because this is the project Couture came up with. I actually really like this transfer. I'm usually not a floral guy, but I love the wild and free. And I've seen some very cool projects with it. I'm going to fuzz it. Now, I've already used this a lot, so you're probably saying, why are you fuzzing it? And I'm going to let you know why. Sean, go and feel that for me. So these new transfers, I'm telling you, you got to let them sit out and breathe. They may feel dry. Sean and I, after our lives, he puts them away, so they probably sit out for an hour. And this one you can feel and even smell it's kind of moist. It just needs more time to dry. And in my opinion, they get stickier with each use.
It's
so
kind of interesting how
yeah. And if any of them do, I'm going to show you an example. We just did a claim on one, which is maybe just Jazzy threw it away, but we did a claim on one. I want to show you kind of what they're doing. Was it this one she did it?
You did that one last.
Yeah.
That may have it. Look in the back. You can't. Well, if you took it off, I don't know.
Anyways, just don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't think this transfer is happy, and reach out to us. So, also, let us know what you think about the new paste, because I love it. It's definitely better than what we had, but it has a little bit of a learning curve to it.
It does.
It is, you get longer to work with it, but it stains a lot quicker. So, in times past, if like you've accidentally gotten a little on your double-sided box frame, and I'd say, oh, don't worry, just take a baby wipe. I would say have a board eraser ready to go because it will stain this pretty good. So we're gonna grab guava, Tide, and sage. Now, I don't have sage, so we're going to substitute pistachio.
You don't have sage? Oh.
Nope, sage was a
that's right.
A lumpy, crumpy, dumpy one. I just had a train of thought, and it just went out the door. Oh, Tide. So, a lot of you have been reaching out to me and saying, why did I get a Tide? Sean, why did some people get an extra Tide?
They had a kind of a problem when they made it. They think it got too hot when it did it, and some were molding even before use or even before you opened it. And then once you did open it, they found mold, and they think what happens is that the mixture got it so hot that it actually created some kind of moisture, and then it molded. So it's very bizarre how it happened, but that's why everybody got a new one.
So this is the new Tide. This is what it looks like. And so if you got one, it should have came with a little, I think it came with a little letter that said Tide-erific or simply something about mistake of Tide. I don't remember, but that is why you got it. Is they knew there was an issue there. So I have to say that's why. I mean, Couture, I know like our shipping and stuff, but look at that. I have to go wash my hands. I'll be right back. Will you stir that down for me?
Yeah, it definitely has the new formulas and whatever they're using to create the creaminess. Really enhances their whatever they're using for their dyes or whatever they're contrasting their colors in is really potent stuff. So it's a really good idea. Just take your stir stick, or not stir stick, but your hockey puck side, get the edges down really nice, go down below and try to get it all up into the center, tap the edge to get the excess off.
And these lids are temporary until plastic from COVID, I guess.
And then you can do this. Get it all to settle down and it's perfect. Oh, I thought it was
so these are only temporary, but I do keep them just because you can see on my guava, it dries and it can, people say, oh, this stuff you can leave off for hours. Yes, you can. You're still going to get a film.
Yeah. It's just very thin film. But it does create one. You think you got it off your hand?
I tell you, it's good. It's just really... Sorry, I have to get this lid out because it's really making my pistachio dry out. Okay, so I'll be excited once this... I'm sure everyone will be excited once this COVID thing's over. All right, so on this, we're going to do the paste and peel method. So the project that Couture designed is this... let me turn down my brightness. Right here, which I love. But for some people, when they see that, they are a little triggered because it is a lot of small area for the colors. So I always tell people, number one, you can always change it up, practice. But the paste and peel method is brilliant. So what I do is I break it down into sections of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then visually, I know the colors. And so I'm just going to use a little bit. Now, this new paste formula, it does have a longer time to dry, but a couple things. The longer it sits on your transfer, the greater potential that it's going to stain it, which is not a big deal. Like Sean will say that every time, like when people use it, they'll say, oh my gosh, it's, is my transfer ruined? Can I still use it? I mean, yeah, we have never had a transfer because of cleaning not. The only thing is if we rip it, which is usually because we overcleaned it, huh? Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the biggest thing is just making sure you get your front and backs. Some other stuff on this new paste is number 2. A lot of people are like, oh, we'll never have to use our fine mist sprayer. It's not true. I can already tell you right now, my pistachio probably could use a little bit. It still is going to need water every once in a while. And we tested it and decided not to clean our jars, because you guys know Shawnee.
Gotta keep those jars clean.
And so I said, oh, let's just see it. This paste isn't supposed to, And so we didn't clean our jars. And I was told by my supervisor, Sean McCoy, that we will be cleaning our jars.
Still good to have clean edged jars, because even though if you have any right here on the upper lip.
Can you add more water to those?
Yeah.
It's definitely.
If you did a little upper lip one and it dries, it can, be hard to open. It just keeps it more sealed, because you still want it sealed.
Now, I will tell you, this new paste formulation, you are going to be able to tell right away if it is dry, and you're going to need to add more water. So, like, I'm using my Tide, which just is brand new, and it's night and day difference. So it will look creamy, but I still cannot stress that enough. You always want to check and add water. So now we're going to peel. Look at that. And then we're going to grab our quick dry tool. Now the quick dry tool, I do have, do we still have 5 in stock, Sean?
I believe so, but I know somebody's claimed 1.
Okay, somebody's claimed 1. There is more coming. At first, I wasn't sure I was going to love it. Now that I have it, I love it. It's quiet. It actually dries stuff pretty dang quick, which surprised me. I have 2 big critiques. Critique number 1 is it doesn't have a long enough cord. Critique number 2, if you drop it, say a prayer. Because I dropped mine and some stuff is... Hear it? Yeah. So, but... Okay, so... When you put down your second section for paste and peel, just put it down. We used to recommend just taking your finger and pushing it down, and we've changed that with this new paste. Because this paste is so pigmented and it gets on your fingers, we recommend now grabbing a mini squeegee or a multi-tool and just pushing it back down in the areas, or using a hand that didn't have, paste on it. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. And that's just because it's you could still fix these. Like if you make a mistake, you're still gonna be able to fix everything and all that. It's really pigmented stuff. Like, and it dries differently. It's beautiful when it dries because you know how on an old piece it dried, but you could still see kind of like the outline of stuff underneath of it. This stuff doesn't do that. Number one. Number two, Sean has very much pointed out to me, and he is right. I'm a heavy-handed chalker, so I all the time get those lines of chalking, and however it fixes it. I don't know how it does it. I don't know what witchcraft it is. Have you noticed that, Sean? Have you noticed that? Is this going to be a Ken live, or is Sean going to be part of this live today?
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were going to ask me the question. So.
Oh, okay. So where were you? Can we all ask what planet? Where'd you go?
I was looking at you using the little detail tool. And I was just like, well, you use the little detail tool.
So you guys get to see the ADD Sean, because this is why
I do have it.
He has it, and I'm going to tell you a story. You guys all, sometimes I hear you. You guys also be nice to Sean.
Oh, he's very nice.
Okay, but listen. Sean even said one time, we got done with the live. I said, how do you think that went? He looked at me and he goes, I can't have comments up anymore. And I said, why? And he goes, I now see what you're saying. I said, what am I saying? He goes, it's bad. He goes, I can't focus on anything else but that. Mm-hmm. And I said, it's okay, Shawnee. We all have things we need to work on.
True. True statement.
All right. So, I love our detail tool, but one of the things I love most about our detail tool is the little bitty end. And they give you Sean can show you on the other color there, but it is smaller than the end of the multi-tool. Yeah. And I love it.
This is probably half the size of your multi-tool.
Yeah. So it's really I still do wish, and I gave him that feedback, that it was a metal end. I personally like a detail tool with a metal end, but bakers can't be choosers, I guess. Okay, so we're just going to, once again, lift it. I probably shouldn't have went so low on this part, but that's okay. And we're going to grab our quick dry tool.
Hello, Carol.
So, other things on this paste, it does take longer to dry. Not as long as shimmer. It is a little bit, you can see it on the ampersand there. It bleeds a little bit more because it's in a thinner consistency. It's about the consistency of our ink. I've noticed it can bleed a little bit more. But what I do love about it is when it dries, it's very even. Mm-hmm. It's very nice. Anytime you'd have anything like that, you're going to want to grab it, I'm telling you. For those who've used it, pigment. Oh, thanks, Sean. Mm-hmm. So once again, I'm going to use this. This is going to be a new thing. We usually would have just taken our fingers and pushed it down. We learned that the hard way. Now, keep in mind, if you accidentally get some on this, you're going to want to be careful. Huh?
That's right.
You're also probably we're going to do a video on how to do deep cleaning of our products. Meaning, like, when you're done with the project, just clean them. But we, because of this new paste, it's gonna stain your squeegees. I'm just going to be honest. There's nothing, no ifs, ands, or buts. So we have a couple products that are not Couture products that we do deep cleaning of our squeegees. So every once in a while we're doing projects, I'll hear Sean say, oh, look at that's all he says. And I'm like, what? And he goes, we need this. These are bad, Kenny. These are bad. He is so anal when it comes to our supplies, which is funny because I'm usually that person, but he is like, these are bad. I need some Barkeeper's Friend. I need this. We need to do a deep cleaning. Like, it bugs you, doesn't it?
It does.
Why?
I don't know. You'd think because they're silicone, they should.
Do you want to know what he does?
What do I do?
What is my biggest pet peeve when we go to people's houses about you? He instantly goes to their Couture room and opens up drawers and cupboards and rates them and says, ooh, wow, you haven't cleaned your transfers in a while, or your... So when we went to Brenda's house, she has transfers that were just covered in paste, just hanging around.
She
had jars and jars of dirty water with all of her squeegees. And she was like, Sean, don't look, I already know about you. Everyone on the streets told me about you and your cleaning. So, it's funny, because that's just Sean for you. Okay, so we're going to remove this, and I'm going to go show you how to wash this while this just kind of dries. And I'm going to show you how we wash these new transfers and paste. Or Sean will tell you.
I'll talk while he does that since there's no microphone over there. We start off with our water, if you have a spray head, perfect. And we're going to take the paste off first without using your board eraser. Get the bulk off first. So that's what he's going to try to do first. Get all that bulky stuff off. Of course, since it's been laying on there a little longer, it is going to stain. There's no doubt about it, especially those heavy pigmented ones and stuff. But that's fine. But this way you don't have that major problem. Because what happens if you were to immediately put this down on the table and start using your board eraser, it just kind of doesn't come as clean.
The paste attracts to this.
Yeah. So watch what he does here. So he's going to rinse that off really good. And then just automatically start wiping. Of course, this happens even with the old paste, but there's that. And it's very pigmented. It takes a while to get it all out of there. So once you get the bulk off, then you, of course, use your board eraser and just go across, up, down, whatever way to get all that surface you want to get off. Just make sure you don't over push. You just need enough to get it going. You can go over and over it again. Just don't push super hard. No need to do that. Rinse it out, go over it again. Once you think that part is done, I know his head's in the way, rinse it off and flip and go to the sticky side and you're going to clean it again. It's amazing.
So this is why we do both sides.
Yeah, see there is color. So you can see how the blue is there? It's still in the mesh. So you want to make sure we get all that color out of the mesh too. And you can actually see it just come right off just by doing the second side. And voila. It looks so much better now. And it's clean. Is it stained on the other side? Yes, there's going to be some stain. Some stuff comes right off with no problem, but there'll be some stain to it, but it's not going to ruin it. Not at all. A little shake, and of course, we're going to bring it back in, and then let it dry a little bit. Sticky side up, as always.
So a couple things. Number one, and I cannot stress this enough. Oh, you can stay up on us for a sec, because I'm just going to fix these mistakes. But number one, even if you're doing lives or with friends, I would get into the habit of telling people we need to clean our transfers right away. Because this paste is... Oh, they probably didn't do the metal end because this goes in water.
It's probably a good idea. I mean, you can get... If you did stainless steel, it won't do it.
That's true. Rust. Sorry, guys. That's how my brain works.
A lot more expensive, of course.
Yes. And I wish they had like a little container for these. Because I always lose them. Okay, what was I talking about?
The paste.
And transfers. So a lot of people are like, why do you, during your live, go clean your transfers? And I always tell people, because we spend money on these and we want them to last.
Absolutely.
And this new paste, oh, that's really cool looking how that is drying. I like that. These new pastes will stain your transfers and your squeegee. So it's better, in my opinion, to just quickly wash them. Okay, so I have a couple areas where, even though I was very careful, it's still, you can definitely see it in the leaves. So what I do is I take our color trays, I add a little bit of our paste, and then stir it. Now, you can always, if it gets too watery, don't worry, because we can just put all the extra right back in. But why do we want to get it a little bit on the wetter side, Sean?
It's thinner and it brushes or goes on much easier without being too bulky on your surface.
Correct. So, and then I do just a very gentle dab. So the nice thing about the new paste, I will say, is unlike the old paste had a hard time when you would fix it with a paintbrush like this, and you would see it. It would like dry with an edge around it and stuff. This paste doesn't do that as much, but keep in mind that this paste does take longer to dry. You can see my teal is still drying, but I still recommend just dabbing it on, and only however much you need. Even brushing it like this, I still don't do a lot of. I still like to just dab it on, but I think it's a lot easier to fix than it was in the old paste. The old paste would dry so quick that it would become almost like a clumpy. Now this one, I didn't let it dry. So I should let it dry, because if you do not let paste dry and you try to fix it, it's just going to pick up that paste color underneath. All right, so let's do a quick dry, and then we're going to fix. Actually, I don't know is there anywhere else I need to fix, or
on your greens?
On anything. Oh, I'm not using. I was like, why does this feel so weird?
Just a little bit on your one flower next to the D, and that'd be probably the only one.
That one?
Yep.
Okay.
Only one I see.
All right. So I'm going to leave my green out just in case. We don't know. We might say, oh, I see something else that needs to be fixed. Invest in some cheap. They do not have to be super nice paintbrushes. Sean gets mine usually for stocking stuffers for Christmas. It's a great investment because
you get quite a few different types, different sizes, but they're still miniature.
Yeah.
It's for miniature painting. Is what for his brother uses them a lot for his miniature painting.
Yeah, and they don't have to be expensive, because you really want. I think you look up either miniature or detail.
I think I do detailed paintbrushes
on Amazon.
I'm gonna look real fast
here. And I'll be honest, we bought the cheap ones at Marshall's and TJ Maxx, all those places, and then I bought expensive ones, and I haven't been like, whoa, like none have jumped out at me as like these are a must. What'd you look up?
Brushes. So I'm going to show you real quick here.
Thanks, Sean. Look at him. What a good co-host.
So here's one. This is kind of like the one he used here. Here's another piece. You know, $10 for all of these. And they've got that nice tri handle that's good for the grip. So these are a little more expensive. Here's another set. So it doesn't really matter. Any of those things like that will work for you.
Okay, so last little fix I want to show you. You can go and clean these, Shani, if you want. Well, actually, two fixes. So he's going to clean paintbrushes here or the jars here in a second, but you can use the detail tool. Can we go back down to this camera, please? Thank you. To just hit these parts here. So I have this little E part that it's. Can you zoom in, Shani?
Yeah.
So they can see it. Thank you. So on the E here, you can see like. I got out a little bit there, which is so sad. You can absolutely try to use a Q-tip and Windex, but I'm going to let you guys know right now, it's pretty hard with this new paste. So what I do...
Especially on the wood.
Yeah, the wood's really hard. But what I do, and especially on our box frame, so if you're doing the front side, I use white. Do not use gray. Most people want to go to a grayish. On the back side, if you have our camel from last catalog, it's a perfect match. I bought so many extra of those just because it's a perfect match of this, and I've asked for it to come back as a permanent color. But I just grab white. Once again, thin it down. And then, literally, I'm going to take a super detail brush, just a little bit, and I'm going to go in and dab it. That's all. And you do not need a lot. And if you do, in fact, if you do too much, it's going to show that you went in and did it. And you don't want that. And the reason I use white is this is pretty much a white board. It does have the flecks of gray, but you really cannot, like there's little dots over here I got. It's way easier than trying to do a custom color or match the wood grain. And at the end of the day, most people probably wouldn't have even seen the mistake, so you're doing it for yourself, but you can see, are they still, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So right here on this ampersand, perfect example. I'm just going to put a little bit. I'm not going to do brush marks if I can. I'm just going to dab. Just like that. And then I always take my paintbrush off to the side, even though it looks clean. It could have just the itty bitty amount of teal, which will then... So there you go. Ta-da! Nice. Project 1's done. And then as Sean talks with you and cleans some stuff, he's going to kind of show you how he cleans. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get ready for project number 2.
So all I did with it, like with the pistachio, I just took my a stir stick or whatever just to get all the stuff off the edge. Took a wipe, went in there and wiped both the top edge and the inner edge. Make sure there's nothing on the outer edge either where the threads go on. And it's clean and ready to go. And we put it on the lid. Simple as that. Do that with the white one real quick. Go around. Get all the stuff off. And then get a clean on here. I have a fingernail a little bit that's long enough to kind of force myself to make sure there's nothing on the side. Fold. Just make sure the outside is good, the top side is good.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
And we're all good to go. This one's clean. Ta-da! Now if I can just figure out where the lid went. Oh, there it is.
Okay. Thanks, Shawnee, for giving him that quick tutorial.
Yeah.
So he's going to start cleaning the rest of those as I get started on the next project. So if he misses a question or something, we will look back. Yeah. I got this board at Hobby Lobby. It was it was on clearance. I forget how much it was. I buy a lot of their stuff when it gets cheap like this because it doesn't say on here, but I think it was originally like $39.99. Then they marked it down. Basically, I got it for $7.99 in their clearance. So anytime I can get something like that and it's MDF, and if I can just paint over it, I'm going to do it. Because it's way cheaper. Alright. And then I'm going to grab some cotton Dixie Belle paint. And then the Belle brush from Dixie Belle. I personally just like to spray the top of my surface, take the brush it back and forth. This paint is pretty thick stuff. You can water it down or take it out and water it down. I just do it this way. Also, depending on what look you're going for, you could roll it on. I want a brushed look. So we are going to brush it. And then up to the horse. I want to actually keep the horse on there. I just don't want... I want the horse to pop more. I think that's a horse. Yeah, that's a horse. Is that a cow?
That's a horse.
Okay.
He's got a long nose.
So I'm just going to take the brush and outline the horse. And then if I accidentally hit the horse, I'm just going to have baby wipes ready to go. So the horse is there, and there. So I loved the horse, and I kept on thinking, oh, I eventually want to use it, but the horse didn't pop. There was so much of that wood color, he went missing. So that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna pop him out. Or her, I guess. So I love the Belle brush. Once again, this is Dixie Belle. It's very natural feeling, great bristles. I also love their French tip. They just released some new ones that I haven't actually used. Maybe I'll use them on my next layer, which is called the... Where are they? Sean, do you know where you and Jazzy put those new brushes? Oh, here they are. So Sean will show you these once he gets back. We'll try to use them. But I primarily use their brushes. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to paint.
So this is called their Best Dang brush. This is definitely big, round, flat, usually meant that it's for doing stencils, you know, so you put in your paint and dab all inside your stencils. This one is called the La Petite. So this is slightly like their It's like the brush he's using, but a much more rounded French tip. So it's got more of a French style tip.
And you can get into areas better. Like I would be able to get into here better.
Yeah, it's bigger. It's more French tip style on the top. It's not a synthetic.
Why don't you open it? We'll use it. Okay, I'm going to dry here real quick. So this is going to be a hair dryer.
It's a beautiful brush. Very nice. It's almost manly.
Come on.
There's one other brush they brought up, but we haven't used it yet. This one here is their scarlet. They call it a scarlet something, but what they made it for, it's flat, thin, and it's mostly exactly to get almost no paint brush strokes. It's very, very small, very thin style filaments. It is synthetic, so they've made it so it can be almost invisible brush strokes.
So I'm actually going to use this one next because this is a darker color and I don't need as much. And then we'll use that one. So this I'm just using, I think this is Ranger Tim Holtz Distress. And you can see what I'm doing is just putting a little on and bringing out the wood grain underneath. Now I don't want it that harsh, so I'm going to show you what we do. We put it on first, like so, and then once it's on, we're going to take, well, let me get it on here first. Okay, so we're going to take then a baby wipe. I'm going to start up here. Can you guys see it? Yeah. Yep. And then very gently, I'm going to go and kind of almost, I still want the brush marks, I just don't want them as dramatic. So I'm just going to very slowly and lightly go over these spots and almost get a nice kind of whitewash effect. They kind of had this look already. It's just so, matched the horse so much that he didn't, or she, don't want to get in trouble, didn't pop. So, now I only use the wipes from Costco, and they are, I think a water base is all. There's like not even fragrance or anything in there. I tried last year when we couldn't find wipes using the ones from Walmart that have Mickey Mouse on them. Do not use those. They are not good wipes.
There is a kind that I don't think they had at the time, but there's one that's it's 99% water.
That's what you want.
Yeah, those are the ones you want.
Okay, so we just need to fill in that. I'm going to dry this, and then we're going to move on to our next layer. But you can already see where the horse now, look at, he's really, she, he, it, they, them, whatever his or her pronoun is. All right, I'm going to dry this layer. That was, just so you guys know, that was coffee bean. The base color was cotton. Okay, so I'm going to grab this one this time. This is, which one is this, Shawnee?
This one here?
Yeah.
Call it the Le Petit.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Yeah.
Le Petit.
Le Petit.
Okay, so same process. I'm just grabbing some here. And the reason why I'm using this brush and not the, like I just used Tim Holtz one, is their brushes, Dixie Bells, you can get a good brush mark, but they're such a dense brush that they're really good to where you don't have to usually use that baby wipe. You can see this is going on a lot smoother. It has a little bit of its brush lines, but not nearly
like his.
What the distressed one was. So,
and this one here is not a synthetic; it's a natural brush.
Yes.
And I think the Tim Holtz is a synthetic.
Yeah. And we can still hit it with which we will. We'll still kind of add some.
I heard that too. Is that a little whine?
Yeah.
Somebody wants to go outside. Are they at the door?
What?
She at the door?
What?
Yeah, sometimes they'll have a little whine. It's like, what? And I found a hole about yay big, yay deep. A what?
It almost sounded like a puppy or a kitten or something.
Oh well.
Yeah, she did dig a hole back there, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Little turd.
Hola, Melissa.
You guys are so get excited. We have 2 months until we get to welcome a new little pup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there we go.
They're gonna be born like next week.
Yes.
No, wait, not next week. Maybe next week or the week after.
Yeah.
They didn't know exactly the day yet.
So we're going to finish with, that one was chocolate, and we're going to finish with, this is called gravy, I think. Sawmill gravy. We're going to use the one that Sean was recommending. Now this one is called, and I think they're out of stock on this one.
It's the Scarlet something or other.
Yeah, and like Sean says, it's kind of designed to not have as many brush marks. So we're going to dip it in. I'm just going to take the excess off. Like so. I sprayed it with water, as you guys saw. And look at that. Oh, like butter. And if it feels like it's not spreading, add a little bit more water. That's what's great about their product. Everything that Dixie Belle offer, well, the majority of stuff they offer is water-based. So it's really easy to, you know, add a little bit of water and get that look you're looking for.
Carol Davis says that Dixie Belle is wonderful.
You know what I'm going to say? Here's the deal. You guys are club members, so you get the soapbox can. They're one of the few companies that I reached out to them and said, hey, I'm looking for a paint company. This is what I do, you know, and I'm hoping, you know, we can work together. They didn't even question it. They said, here you go. We will give you product when you want some. I mean, to a limit. But basically, and then I said, well, what's required of me? And they're like, do videos when you can. Do a shout out when you can. They never, ever come to us and say you're not doing enough. You know, are representing other companies. And the only thing they ask is if you are going to mention other companies that are competitor, just no links or stuff like that. So I was like, cool. And every time I've talked to them, when I've said, oh, we're going to do this, they're like, cool, sounds good, no problems. Like, they're just very relaxed. And that speaks volumes in a company. You guys know, for those of you, that I've just recently got attacked. Well, not attacked, but a lot of people didn't agree with what I had to say about a company, which is fine. But people's actions speak louder than words, in my opinion.
So one of your new club members is here, Kim Nesbitt.
Oh, yeah.
Hello,
hi, Kim.
Welcome. Can't wait to get my first club kit. And now?
Next month's club. Oh, you guys want to see it? I love it.
I haven't seen it.
Where
is it?
It is right there.
That one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see if I can do this without screwing myself up here. Okay, April transfer.
It's been a while since we've done
I know.
eCam, huh?
Here we go. What if you can fly?
I love it.
But no, it says, but my. What if I fail? Oh, but my darling, what if you can fly?
I know, look at that. So it says, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? Erin Hansen, find your wings. It's got a little border that I love. It's got the bird. I love it. I don't know what the project looks like yet because that usually doesn't come out until Fab 1st, but it's a pretty transfer. Okay, we are arrived.
Nice indeed.
You do need a little bit, and I learned this. took me a long time when I asked people about shading. Like, I never got, like, where should someone's shadow be? And leave it to Mr. Omar. For those of you who don't know Omar, he has awesome SVG blogspot. He's awesome. And he's the one that was like, because people would always be like, imagine a light. And the light, I mean, all the stuff. And basically, he literally said, wherever they are, the shadow would be right there, obviously. And just very, you know, behind them. And usually the sun will be in front of them. He's the one that really got me to understand. I still suck at it. I'm not going to lie. It's hard. It's hard to be shaped. What?
You're wonderful.
Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, so I'm going to dry this. We're done with this layer. This can get thrown away.
Hi, Nari.
Do you want to dry that real quick, Shawnee?
I sure can. I'm going to mute us while I dry. So be right back, guys. We're still muted.
Where's the mute?
It's probably underneath somewhere. Where'd you move it to?
Oh, here it is. Oh. I'm not mute.
Oh, you must have given down.
It's all good. Hey guys, look at our screen. So we're going to cut something with the Glowforge. So I'm going to go to, this is basically the Glowforge user face. Glowforge is an online program for those of you who are Cricut users. It's a lot like Cricut Design Space. You have to use their software to use the machine, which is online. So I know that can be sometimes not everyone's obviously favorite, but I'm going to bring in the SVG I created for this. So this is the, oh wait, I might not have put it in here, or did I? Wild and Free. Do you see Wild and Free? I still have it here. Okay, so when you bring in this SVG, for those of you, oh wait, it still says we're currently muted. How do I get rid of that? There we go. Sorry, guys.
I got it. Thanks.
Okay, so I'm gonna zoom out. This is our Glowforge. Now we have two printers. I have the Pro and then the regular. So we're going to go to my Pro. And it says that it's ready. Now, here's all of the patterns for this. We have this, which is the main pattern that goes out. This is the Wild and Free. This is the flowers that would be kind of right here. And then I also made individual flowers. So I'm not actually going to cut this one. I am going to cut this. I'm going to cut this, and then I'm just going to cut probably these, and we're going to use thick draft board. Now, their system already knows that this is thick draft board because of their QR code. You can use their app on a computer or anything. So we are going to have it take a picture again of the bed because it didn't find out that it was thick draft board, which is interesting.
I can open the lid and do that. Oh, you got that one too. That'll work too.
Okay.
It doesn't like looking at it. Weird.
So sometimes it'll do this. And it's probably because this is an older thick draft board. They've updated this, and I'll show you what I mean when we actually do it. To be bigger so people can see it. So now that it knows it's thick draft board, right now it's engraved, which we don't want. We want to be able to cut it. And because it is already, it knows it's its own thick draft board. As long as all of this is in red, you're good. If this was off like that, it's not good. So I'm just going to move this and then just move it to where it says red. And then all I have to do is hit up here, print, and it's going to do its thing. Now, I'm going to have Sean go in there, and I'll walk him through on the volume what he's doing, just so you guys can see.
Are we going in there then?
Do you want to, or do you not want to?
I can't. I just have to set it up. That's the only.
What do you mean?
Well, I have to get Epoch camera up and running. And
how big of a deal? Do they want to see it or not? Ask them.
So, do you guys want to watch it cut? That's the only thing I need to know. Do you want to watch it cut? Because we can go in there. Let me know. I know it's going to take a second for you guys to respond. Let me pull up my... Oops. Well, let's. We prefer the hairdryer on a big paint surface, but when we're doing the paste, quick dry tool works great. Waiting for a response. Sure, yes.
Okay, let's set it up.
All right, give me a moment. I actually have to get off of this and go to Wi-Fi.
Can you go to front camera then? Mm-hmm. Put this off. So, as I was saying earlier, they updated their... You can go to this camera, actually, Shawnee.
Oh, you want that? Okay.
So they...
I bet you because we just...
Yeah, you changed cameras.
That's why.
So I don't know what you guys missed out on. I don't know when Sean...
Just a second ago.
Oh, okay, cool.
You just might want to re-talk about the
Okay,
code.
sorry about that, guys. It's been a while since we've used eCam, and so while he's doing that, all I was saying is basically they updated their QR code. This was the old, this is the new. We found that when it uses the old QR code look, sometimes it doesn't register their material. By using this new look, it's always registered it. So that's all I was really saying. And then the difference in thick draft board and thin.
1/8 inch and 1/4 inch.
Yeah. So I'm going to answer some of your questions here too while he's getting this up and running. Which one is it going to be under? This?
Or the one that says Epoch.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah, we'll go there whenever you're ready.
Unlock.
Should just go to it. There you go.
Okay. So Sean will walk over there. I wanted to go up here. Let's see here. I did not paint the horse. The horse was on there. Have you used the Crackle Medium to age some of your projects? Yes, and I love it. Do I prefer the hairdryer to the quick dry tool? I prefer the hairdryer for drying paint, quick dry tool for paste for sure. I'm actually really impressed. Okay, so Sean is at the Glowforge, and we're going to go back into our Glowforge app here. So I have to share the screen. Give me one sec here. What? No, not yet, please. Yeah. So go ahead and go. Press start. So the flashing button is showing that it's ready to go. This is going to take 11 minutes and 14 seconds. Reason why is it's thick. So it's thick draft board. Just takes a little bit longer. And, okay, I'm seeing your guys' no sounds, but you guys still can see, you can hear us fine? Okay, if you can't hear us, let me know, but I thought we fixed it. Maybe not. Okay, so, I'll just kind of watch your guys' comments to see. No sound. Can we make sure we're getting some sound? No sound? Can you guys hear us? I hope so. Okay, so basically right now what it is doing is it's cutting through. So it's interesting because a lot of people will think that the cutting takes longer than the engraving, but cutting is super quick. That is the dryer vent. We decided to just go straight from our Glowforge outside. And that is what is going to keep the smoke down. It's also going to minimize the smell. I love the smell. It smells like a campfire. If you're using acrylic, it smells like a nail salon. But this is a pretty amazing machine. Now, if you're going to do a lot of cutting, you may have to clean your machine a little bit more because they put transfer tape on the front and back. Now, what this does is it protects the wood underneath so you don't get those burnt edges. However, it does create more smoke, and we found that we have to cut or clean the machine more. Now, this one here is a class 4 laser, which does mean you should have to wear safety goggles only if you're using the pass-through option, which we're not. So this option, it's built into the glass for safety measures, but you can see in the back there just how dirty the machine can get. We have to clean it. I cannot tell you enough how happy I am we got this Glowforge. Uh-oh, something happened. What happened, Sean? What happened? Okay, why don't you come in here and I'll fix that. Why don't you go and explain to him what happened? I'll get anyone to it. What got stuck? Okay. You want to go back to the whistle or on that? Okay. Can you explain to him what just happened? Yep. Thank you. Welcome.
So we had a little thing that got stuck in there, a piece of wood that was kind of lodged in there, so it hit it and it couldn't go anywhere. So I got that fixed. So we're good to go with that. And we will do another one here in just a second. But you can see how easily that works. Yeah.
When it starts cutting, why don't you start just talking to him about the Glowforge?
Mm-hmm.
And then start on our next project. So you can just start answering questions once it gets going, so I can let them know what happened, and then we can get going on our next project.
Sure.
Because it's going to take 12 minutes to cut.
Okay. So, Miss Kim, the new...
Glowforge, though, can you make sure it's ready to go?
Yeah, 1 second. Do you have the board in there ready to go? Okay. So Kim is asking, is the quick dry tool, if I can find where it went, here it is. Is a quick dry tool same as an embossing heat gun? It is not. They made this gun to be only 150 degrees with a low speed and a high speed, and you can tell by how quiet it is, and that's all it's going to be. Where a heat gun or an embossing tool gun is like 300 and some odd degrees. So that's what they did, is they got it so it's not so hot. Melissa's asking, how's our arms? We got our shots for okay, go ahead. COVID shots. Just the little poke right here. A little sore, but other than that, nothing. No side effects of any kind, so we're good. All right.
All right. You can answer questions.
Yeah, I just did. We're all... Nope.
All right.
Don't worry, you didn't miss much.
Yeah.
We're good.
Okay. So we're going to let that cut, and then I'll end up doing some painting of that. While it takes about 12 minutes to cut, I'm going to get stuff going for our ink project. So I know you guys love it when we do inks. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do an ink project with you. I think that's the one we used.
Looking for some goodies. Ta-da!
Okay, I'm gonna go get the easy process stuff. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You can explain the materials we got so far.
If I can get it to come up. There we go. So what we have here is, of course, the 10 by 10 square block out. So this is the screen, so you can do all of your chalking on the outside and leaves this part completely blank to put whatever you want inside. And then we're going to be using the leopard print here. The big, this is of course, the D size, 18 by 18. Leopard print pattern is what they call this one. There is a smaller one out that came out in this catalog. That's a smaller one. That's actually 2 layers, so you can get all of like these smaller pieces in there with a whole different color by itself. Where this is so big, you can just do it automatically with a different color. So we got the mask, the 10 by 10 square mask, and then the leopard print. And then we're using a girly, which is a 20 by 20 pillowcase. This is, of course, for those who are IKEA shoppers. This came from IKEA. They make great pillowcases. It's awesome. And that's what we're going to be using this on. Do not keep an eye out when you are running Glowforge. From time to time, we'll pop in and out.
Okay, here's this for you. So
I would never want to leave if I'm using something that I did on my own for, if I had to mask my own piece, that I don't want to leave because that can automatically pop up and it's the tape that pops off the wood that you're going to be concerned.
Iron that?
I can't.
Thanks, love. So
that I will. These, because it's proof grade, that masking tape that's on there is sticky and it's not coming off, so I usually don't have to worry about it. But if it's something that I placed on there before, I will definitely do that. So we're going to iron this real quick.
You might use scissors on that.
Oh, that's right.
These are the IKEA ones that are...
They're on there good.
Yeah. So Sean's going to iron this. We'll get going on this project. I don't know if he explained the mask, but I'll share with you the mask and how I use it compared to what other people do. And pros and cons. Just this? Mm-hmm. Okay. You have spoken. Ooh. I have another white one. Why do I have 2 whites?
I don't know.
Ooh,
you did a mixed color one? Is this your mixed color one?
I don't know.
No, it's white. It's just white.
Okay, we'll just.
They are the best.
Okay. I'm gonna go check on that. If you want to iron that, and then we will.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my glow, or not, I'm gonna call it a Glowforge. I'm gonna wait for the easy press to heat up, and then we'll do this. I'm just gonna, and I don't do it too much to our other ones, but this one I'm gonna add just a little water, create a little steam to help.
Why don't you do it with our canvas? Because we learned that the hard way.
For some reason, the steam gets it so hot that it discolors it, and I don't like doing that. If you did a lighter, like a lower temperature, it'd probably be all right. But we're always at such a high temperature when we're doing those, it just can discolor. We're almost there at 200 degrees. Well, let's say you got it right. Once you cut, for those who don't know, especially like him who's new, the masks, the 10-inch square, 4-inch square, 4-inch circle, they actually have a border all the way around. What do you need?
Find the sprayer.
Oh,
thank you.
They have all this mesh on the outside, and then this half-inch, 1-inch border that goes around it as well. And there's so much mesh on the outside that it's hard to work with.
I have another one down there. You can show them the difference.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me look.
Okay.
Scoochie Baducci.
Oh, did you burn yourself? Did I get you?
No, I smashed my fingers.
Oh, ouch. Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, no, I cut it. That's how much I... What if I did on my circle?
Your white circle might be good. Move this up a little bit so I can use more of the pad here. Yeah, we all wish there was one closer.
What?
IKEA to us.
Oh, man.
Our closest one is 4.5, 5 hours, depending on traffic when you get there. From us in Seattle, or just south of Seattle. It's in Tukwila.
So normally, what Sean was saying is, I even did it to the small ones because I hate it, but normally, I had a square one. Oh, we sold our square one to a club member, that's right. Yeah. Forgot about that. But basically, it's I don't deal with the mesh. I do have a video I'll share with you guys on how we use masks that way. I'll find it for you here in a quick sec.
Try to.
So, I'll just show you the catalog. So the masks, normally the black is an open mesh, so you can really see it here. And it goes all the way around it, and it just gives you an area to accidentally mess up. So I remove it and use it this way. Let me share, since Sean's got that. Here is a video. Where can I share a comment, Sean?
Sure.
Do I have to go into each one, or
what do you want to do?
Do I go into Restream chat?
What are you trying to do?
Share the link to this video.
You can do it in Restream. Yeah, you actually you can do it over there on that computer, or you're gonna have to pop it up here.
That's fine. Oh, you know what? Actually, where's our other screen?
Come over. Hit. Is it the wand?
I don't know. You usually.
I'm trying to remember what popping out on that one.
Okay.
Because you need the one that's got all the stuff on it. Hit the. What happened when you hit the wand?
Nothing.
No, that's not it.
I know it's not.
Hit. No, that's for interview. Go to source. No.
No, share screen fine.
Yeah, that works too.
Okay, so I'm not going to have the volume on, but basically this, you'll see, this is one we did where right there, all of this white stuff, make sure they can hear me. Yep, good. Okay. All of this white stuff is an open mesh. And for me, it just creates a chance to accidentally mess up and get bubbles and stuff. So I put down the pattern first. And then see so originally, see how it's all a mesh? You could accidentally have a mistake. It's hard to get all the bubbles out. You don't have as much flexibility to move it around. So I find it much easier to just cut away the mesh. This gives you the ability to put it, of course, anywhere you want. You could put it in the center, you can put it off to the side, but you don't have to worry about the bubbles. Now, it will obviously void the warranty, so just keep that in mind, because I don't want you going in there and being like, Ken's Creations told me to cut away my screen, and then I'm in trouble. But it works better in my opinion.
It does. Now we got the right one up.
Do you want to paint, Sean, or do you want to do the project?
To paint or to do what?
The project.
I can paint.
Okay.
What am I painting? Just the boards?
Yeah. So basically, I already have the paint back there, the water, and a paintbrush. Okay. Just paint the front side white. Okay, so while he's doing that, I'm going to do the ink project with you beautiful people. We'll get picture-in-picture going.
Get up my epoch camera real quick.
Okay, and we'll get questions too. So, these are our ink mats. And They're back in stock, yay! And an ink mat essentially is for two reasons. Number one, it is to make sure the ink doesn't go through the front to the back. So it kind of creates a barrier. And then number two, it is so your material doesn't shift during the process. And what?
You good with everything?
I am. Thank you, Shawnee. So if we, for whatever reason, are out, a lot of people will say, what can I use? Number one, if it's a thick enough piece of material, it might not even bleed. A lot of people use cardboard, Cricut mats, silhouette mats. There's a lot of options. The only thing is obviously the bigger, if you're doing a bigger project like this, is bigger than our normal canvases. I would want to make sure that I have it down. And the only reason I'm using an IKEA, for anyone that's familiar with IKEA's girly pillows, that's what these are called, girly G-U-H, I think, or they're kind of thin. They don't feel thin when you buy them, but they are. This is a brand new ink mat, and you can tell because it is really sticky. Now, I do not clean my ink mats when I'm done with them. I've found that if you clean them with like Lysol and stuff, they can, there we go, they can lose the residual stickiness. So I don't do that. Okay, so I'm going to be utilizing this one. This is the cheetah pattern, very popular pattern. I know I heard Sean say that they released a updated version of this, which they did. It's part of the Positive Vibes collection. I actually have it right here. Let me grab it. So you can see it has layers. I'm not going to tell you what those layers look like because I still think that they look dirty, but they're there. When I saw it in the catalog, I was like, and Mandy, my upline, I think was at the table with me, and she was like, Ken, don't. Just leave it. And I was like, I know you guys are bad. What can I say? I'm bad. All right. So we're going to grab this, and we're going to place this down. Now, this is not going to take up the full pillow. So obviously, I'm going to move this to being in the center as much as possible because this, when you put cotton in it anyways, it's going to fill out. So, but the big thing I'm going to do on this is make sure it is straight and there is no bubbles, especially on ink. So for those of you who don't use ink, you should. It's awesome. It's permanent. It is not heat transfer or like infusible ink. This is something that actually, once you heat set it, it's part of the ink, but you're going to still kind of feel it. I love our ink. A lot of people are scared of our ink. I was scared of our ink in the beginning too. And it's actually the #1 request we get is ink. Hello everyone on YouTube. All right, so this is the mask. So as I had said, I cut away all of my excess. This gives me a couple things to do. Number one, I can put it in any corner. I can do all sorts of stuff. I can do it as a diamond, which is what we're going to do on this one. It just gives you a little bit more freedom than if you had kept it in the X, because the other way you would have had to line it up with this. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's just this gives us more freedom. Now, there is a little bit of, I will tell you, that's good. When you use ink, the way I'm showing you, I thought these were both 20 by 20, but maybe they're not. Aren't these 20 by, I thought they were. Interesting. Who'd have thunked? So 9.75. That's pretty good. Okay. The only thing I will say is sometimes I will put this layer on the bottom just because if you aren't careful, you can sometimes push ink underneath right here and it can mess up your beautiful pattern. You don't want that. I'll look at this to make sure it's pretty straight. I think this side actually, I think I just need to tilt it a little bit and we'll be good. Emily, this is unlisted for Club Couture members, so that's probably why there's not as many people watching. Because this is our exclusive Club Couture Live. Why? Because we love them. Badink, badink. So I have to say, for those of you who follow our other stuff, we did get our mug press. I am impressed with it. I knew I would be. Cricut makes good products. It's just expensive, and we can do the same thing with ink, in my opinion. The other thing is it does work with our ink. I'm going to do a video on it. In my opinion, it works best if you use it with butcher paper. And you do have to hair dry it first, meaning once you get your item on your mug, I just use a hair dryer so it gets dry, and then I put it in the mug press, because if it's too wet, it will, unfortunately, what's the word I'm thinking of? Smear. Okay, I'm going to grab delicate tape. Now, this pattern goes right up to the edge, and we want to be careful not to, because we're using bright white, and I don't want it to stain this beautiful yellow pillowcase. So I'm just going to give me some insurance. This isn't really keeping the transfer in place. It's basically giving me insurance where if I accidentally hit it and go over where I'm supposed to, I'm not getting it anywhere I don't want it. Now, a couple things on this. Make sure when you put down your tape, whether you're using ours or whatever, there is no bubbles coming back. Meaning, like, if you put the tape in it, push the transfer this way, it could create bubbles right here. All right. Let me minimize this. Sorry, there's so much going on. Hi, Janet. All right. So I am going to be using our bright white ink, which I love. I have my 4-inch squeegee. Now, because I cut my mask, we want to make sure we put down what I call a foundation layer, meaning we want to be very careful that we do not see right here where it's just not stuck down really good. I want to make sure that's not going to be an issue. So if you do this on the edge of this mask, you're going to have a little bit easier time, or it won't flip up on you, because that's the other reason they kind of make the masks the way they do, is they don't want the little corners like this to flip up. But use your ink as kind of an adhesive, and it just holds it in place. And then when you ink it, you want to go from the center out. So very rarely when I'm using a mask will I go like this way, just because it will give you a little bit of problem when you are lifting it. You know what? I have a little bit of yellow in here, so that's interesting. I must have been using yellow because there's a little yellow, so we might have to throw a little yellow in here, because if not, it might look a little weird. Just saying. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to grab my 4-inch squeegee. This is my go-to, especially for doing pillows. Yeah, there is a little yellow in here. Well, should we take a risk? Why not? Maybe it will look like urine. We will find out. This might need to be redone before I give it to a Club Couture member, because then they'll probably quit. But they won't. They would have a transfer where I sang, and there would be a little fun story. So when your friends come over and say, "Why is there urine on that pillowcase?" So, oh my goodness. The yellow, there was a little bit of yellow in my white. What are you doing?
I'm actually going to use a roller to be faster.
So, we have improvised, Sean. Mm-hmm. Was it a good decision?
I don't know.
This is still, we're not sure. It could just look like urine. We're not sure.
sure?
We're not sure.
Okay.
But, you know.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Where's our,
oh, no. What?
Where's our paint? Oh, here they are.
It's stressing me out. He always says, oh, no, for the weirdest things. Like, oh, no, there's a twister coming. Get into the storm cellar. And then he's like, oh, never mind, we're good. I'm like, you freak me out. You guys, I'm kind of worried about this. I'm not going to lie. Like, I like to try to take chances, but... This could be as bad as my little... When I first did Couture, I did this gingerbread, and he was so cute, and then I sweated on him, and then he looked like he peed his pants. So sad. Sean, it could look like a urine. We don't care. We're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. We're going to go with it, right? I'm just going to keep saying that until, you know what? It's drying really quick, too. I'm going to add gold. I don't even care anymore. Let's get wild. Let's just get some wild and crazy, guys. That's copper. Where'd my gold go? Why not, right? Why not? Let's add a little gold. Let's live a little, people. This is going to be probably the ugliest pillowcase we've ever made. But you know what? They can't all be winners, people. They can't. Let's just go wild, okay? Wild and crazy. I can't see your comments. Just don't look at it, Sean. Just don't even look. Don't look at it yet. Well, that didn't do... Now it looks like poop and urine. OMG. What was I thinking? Good thing I put down this purple tape because look at how much of a mess I am making. Oh no. Okay, I gotta clean my hand. The moment has come. I feel like a not prepared queen on RuPaul's Drag Race right about now. Like, this is when RuPaul comes around and asks all the drag queens how they feel. They're like, oh, I feel so confident. I'd be like, so just eliminate me now because, oh, and it went under the purple tape. You guys. Oh, no, this is not good. Think positive, Ken. Right? Okay. 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 It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. I mean... Okay. Okay. Oh, no. Because it has to at least be poopy all over the place. It can't be poopy in one area. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. Okay. 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 I don't hate it. Okay, give me a sec. I have to watch this. Sean, do you want to watch this? Or do you want to... You stop now. I can fix that now that this is... Or what do you want to do? There's no one on screen. What are you doing? Are you watching? Okay. Okay, it's not bad. It's not great. We have some little mistakes that we can fix really quick. So we have a little bit of white up here, which on a dark yellow is okay. So I'm going to turn it around. We're going to take a baby wipe that is clean. I'm just going to go in here. Now, if you have one of our canvas pillowcases, I wouldn't recommend doing this. Our canvas pillowcases, when they get wet, and they almost stain. I don't know why, but they do. Okay, so, and then there are a few areas, okay, I hate you right now, right, just so you know. Okay, there's a few areas, you can see where, because I was stressed because of the urine and poop, So what we're going to do is grab a paintbrush. Now, on ink and paintbrushing, a couple things is use a color tray. You do not need to water it down. So we have to try to get as close to some of these colors. So I'm going to add a little bit of white. Let's go to yellow, and we're going to mix it up. There we go. It's not bad. It's looking good. Should we add a little bit of gold? I think if I would have added the gold in a better, like to me it's almost, I don't know, like the gold looks like brown poo, right? Okay, so all we're doing is going in and adding a little bit of color fluctuation on these parts that kind of have the, and then I'm going to fill in these little gaps because I don't like them. I actually want to fill in the gaps. So I will take a paintbrush and do this a lot with our inks. Don't be afraid to. You can do hot mess. You can do all sorts of stuff with our inks. And I think people feel like because they're permanent that they can't go back in before and do something like this. You can add textures. You can do so much. All right. So I'm going to fill in these, which means I'm going to need some more paint and I'm going to need a paintbrush. Little paintbrush. You know what? I wouldn't say I would buy it. I'm not saying that, people. I'm going to use white that obviously already had stain in it, but it's not as bad as it could have been. I mean, for a while there, it just looked like it was going to be shit and poop, or urine and poop. Feeling it. I'm kind of feeling it, right? It's all about your mindset, Ken. I hate it. I'm burning it. Did you see how good Sean was, though? He was like perfect. Perfect. Nailed it. Okay. So, would have I kept the lines if I didn't have an issue? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I like... And the lines I'm talking about is right here. So, it formed kind of a... It's supposed to form kind of this... line all the way around, but the problem is this one doesn't have the pattern that goes all the way around, so it just kind of, to me, looks like a break in the line. What do you think? That's what I think. And I just told you don't need to water this down, but because I've been using it so much, we do need to add just a scotch. Just a scoochy scotch. You guys, I'm starting to feel it. I am. The poopy pillow is going to be a hit. It's going to sell everywhere. I already got orders from Home Goods, TJ Maxx. It's going to be in their clearance section. I'm just kidding. So ink, if you are going to paint it on like I am, you want it thin because remember, we still have to heat set this. So make sure that it isn't so bulky to where you're going to need to do that. And you want to make sure that you know the texture you're working with. For example, if you're using one of our canvas, once again, our canvas pillowcases, I'm going to be honest, and this might get me in trouble, but you know, it's how I am. I'm not a fan of Couture pillowcases. I think they're not comfortable when they're done. I think that when you make a mistake, they're hard to fix because of the way they absorb it. Hence why I get the girly ones. But what's your guys' thought on our canvas? Because I've given the feedback that we need different ones. I know that right now I'm painting and I can't see your comments, but I will in a sec. Okay, I'm definitely vibing with this now that I'm closing up this gap. Because the gap to me just looked very... it made it look like there was something wrong with it. So by filling it in and adding some of these different colors, you guys, I'm kind of vibing with it now. Or maybe I'm just vibing with it because I have to tell myself that. It's been an emotional day. We finally got caught up on Grey's Anatomy. I'm not going to tell you why it's emotional, but it's emotional. Just saying. I've never watched a program where they can just do what they do and like say goodbye to characters like they say goodbye to them and it's no big deal. It's like, eh. Okay, Sean, when you come in here, I'm not saying this is the best thing we've ever done, but it's definitely, I think we're getting some redeeming values here. But I'm going to need your emotional support. When you look at it, I want you to be like, that is the like, I've never seen a pillowcase. That needs to be in an art gallery type of thing, okay? I need it mentally today. This is a true artist at work. Nothing is perfect in life, right? This is my controlling mind telling my artistic side, it's fine. Nothing in art is perfect. But can we really talk about that other transfer? Because I don't use it a lot. Everyone says, why don't you use the small cheetah? Like, am I the only one that thought that about that small cheetah? You think that too, don't you, Sean?
What's that?
On the small cheetah, it looks like something.
Like the what?
The small cheetah looks like something that we shouldn't talk about on lives. Looks like a woman's anatomy part. Don't you think? No?
A little bit.
Are you back?
Almost.
Almost. Because I haven't looked at comments. Number one, I'm afraid of what they're saying. Number two, I'm trying to get this on before the ink dries. Because I should have, so, here's the thing. If I was to do this a project again, which I actually probably would, I would have transfer taped over these edges. I wasn't even thinking about this. The transfer tape, we could have blocked out these and this wouldn't have been an issue. So if you ever use the cheetah as a pattern pillow with the square transfer, just remind yourself if it's not a pattern, a complex pattern, and it's going to have gaps, you're going to have gaps then inside here, and I just don't like that. But the great thing about Couture is we can easily fix it. You guys, I'm not hating it as much. I mean, I'm not in love with it, but I'm not hating it as much. But whoever wins this in the raffle, I guess if you don't display it, you won't hurt my feelings. Like, if you want to just give it to your goodwill. You know, someone's done that before, which I don't care. I gave someone a gift for a wedding, and I thought it was pretty, but I guess, you know, everyone has their own aesthetic. And I made it. I was so happy with it. And then one of our YouTube followers reached out and said, OMG, I live in Newport, and I went to the Goodwill in the Valley, and look what I found. She goes, I couldn't even believe it. It had yours and Sean's signature on the back, and it's so cool. And I was like, oh, that's so funny, because that was a wedding gift to someone. And they were like, shut up. And so she was ecstatic, and I was like, do you mind me asking how much? And she was like, $12.50. And I was like, shut up. That's so awesome. We made $12.50 for Goodwill. That feels good. Right, Sean?
Right.
They can't all be winners, I guess. I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Sorry, guys. I will look at your comments. I'm just trying to fill these in before they dry. And what I mean by that, I guess I've said that twice now without explaining. So once ink dries, it is a little bit harder to fix mistakes because it turns... The best way to describe ink is it's a texture. So when it's on and wet, it's sticky. And when you actually heat set it, it goes from kind of a sticky state to a nice smooth. And if you try to fix it and it's already in that smooth state and now you're trying to fix it with the sticky, it doesn't mix. So if you are going to fix an ink mistake like this or fill something in, you're going to want to do it before you heat set it, and you want to do it the thinnest layer you can. Just because, not so much because it's going to look weird, more so that it's going to take longer to heat set. If you put a lot of layers of ink on a project, you can do that. We've done up to like 10 layers of ink, so you can do it. It just takes longer to set. And I also recommend heat setting in between layers if you're doing ink on ink, meaning if I had a second layer, I would heat set this first layer, but I'm going to be putting a transfer in an open space, so I'm not as worried about that. Okay, so now I'm just going to go fix any areas that I feel need a little bit more of a transition.
Pretty.
Oh, you are such a good liar, love. I love you.
Oh, that's pretty cool looking.
Okay, where do I need more transitions? Or is that good, do you think? Right there, definitely. So what I mean by transitions is you could definitely see that right here. Ooh, on the screen it looks amazing. Right here, it's definitely a different color. So I'm just going to come in here and fix that. Sean's going to get caught up with your comments. If whoever wins this, if you do burn it or get rid of it, please film it because I would love to see that. Or you can keep it and call it the... You won't hurt my feelings if you're like, I won the poop one.
Hi, Janet. Let's see. I use girly pillows with HTV and now I'm excited to use the transfer zone and I will need to buy ink now. Who said that one?
So, the girly pillows, I love, love, love. I do say recommend if you're going to go... Unless you have one near you, which we don't. We always have to stock up on the inserts because... They're hard inserts to find. Those girly inserts, they're just a different size.
Oh, Nori said that. Well, let me do this. I'll look at all Facebook ones first. Hello, Nancy.
Oh, because it doesn't say their name. I know. I'm sorry, love.
Sing it, Ken.
Well, it's because we were doing the poop song for a sec.
I don't think it looks like P.
Oh.
Says Kim.
It was kind of rough and touch and go there
it's
for.
It's going to be gorgeous. Gorgeous.
You guys are so
this
positive.
Well,
this will be interesting. Like, see, that's what I say. I'm like,
well, it doesn't look like lemon meringue anymore. Actually, I like it. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I think it works. It looks great.
Okay, do you think I need to touch up anywhere else, Sean, or is it good?
I think it looks awesome.
Okay. I love it.
Looks like a young cheetah.
All right, so normally I wouldn't heat set it because we're just putting something here in the middle. But because I did paint with it, these areas are pretty... Oh, man.
I can never unsee that. I can see a chicken in the lower left corner.
Oh, did I already fix over the chicken? Okay, that's actually not bad.
See if there's any... Melissa's laughing her head off. Looks like a ripe banana, says Cindy. I'm liking it better with the gap covered.
Me too.
Said me too, says Cindy. We can be our worst critic. All right, they're all caught up.
Okay. So I'm going to let Sean do the honors on this. I am going in.
What am I doing?
You're going to heat set this before we do the second layer just because I painted so much. It's pretty thick in areas.
Oh, this is going to take a few.
Yeah. So you can see as it dries, that line is still coming out, which just means we need to add a little bit more on there. And the reason for that is the girly, for those of you who've ever used it, even though it doesn't feel thin, it's a pretty thin pillow. And because of that, it has a texture to it. And that texture is great, but it also absorbs our ink pretty well. So what that means is the spots that I didn't have to cover up the line have started to dry. And that's why you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see it on the live, but here you can. So I'm just going in to quickly, where else do you see that line popping up still? Where?
Right there and there.
So the nice thing about ink is once you do start to set it, it does start to
flatten out.
Yeah, and it's not as, so like for example, if you are doing layers, it's not, you're not going to see the layers as much. It almost, yeah, I guess flatten out's the best way to describe it. Okay, what do you think? Good?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
You good?
I'm going to let you do that. I will take these out of your way. Off to the side here. And then, oh, the other pieces are already done in there. So we can finish this, yeah. Because all we're going to do on this after one's done is just do the wild and free in the middle.
There you go.
So let me get out of your way. So he's going to heat set it. Normally we wouldn't heat set it like this because it's not necessarily needed. The one thing you want to be very careful of when removing it, and you can see this is a brand new mat, so he's being careful, is taking out the ink mat. The reason we have to take out the ink mat is...
This would melt with that.
It would melt, but you want to be careful because it can flip in on itself. So
Sometimes this could end up being a two-person thing, so...
Usually, once you use your ink mat a few times, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's just, this is a brand new ink mat. There you go.
Alright. I did not grab the hairdryer again, but I guess I can...
It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. You just wait, Sean. When it's done, you're going to look at it and say, oh, the places you'll go. Right?
That's right.
That's right. Sean's learned to just agree.
The hairdryer's a little better with this.
Oh, do you want me to go get it? Where is it?
It's in the...
I didn't even know you took it.
I took it to dry the...
I'll go get it. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to use a hairdryer for this instead because it's little hard, higher wind. We have the wraparound from the pillow, the thing that you had to cut off. It's right up there. Does it have a color name on it?
No, but it has an item number.
Somebody's asking what color I call it. Mustard. I would call it mustard.
Yeah, this one, it has an item number and a color number, and it's right here. I'll give it to you right there.
Oops.
And to be honest, we haven't been to IKEA in so long, I don't know if it's one they still have.
Yeah, so who knows? Come on, camera, focus. So it doesn't really have a name, just has a number, but I would call it mustard, if I was to call it anything. Colonel Mustard.
What, Johnny? Are you talking to them?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So, more likely, this canvas, because everyone was saying, did the ink go through? It did not. This is a pretty, even though it's thin, it's thick. Kind of, sort of. It's thickish. So it did not go all the way through. So the ink mat's mostly to keep it from shifting around while you're applying your ink. Thin material, like thin t-shirts and stuff, you more unlikely will have it go through all the way through. So on this one, it did not go through. So I'm going to grab some parchment paper. Even though I took the hairdryer to kind of get some of the moisture out, that kind of helps it from getting on the other side, but it'll more likely get on here, so, because it's pretty thick stuff. And then once I take the this off, if it's wet, you know, with the ink, I'm just going to flip it over and use the other side, because if we replace it down, it'll probably get places where you don't want it to be. Right, let's see where we're at here. Look at that. I don't think I got any ink, but I'm going to flip it anyway, just to be on the safe side. I'm going to, yeah, see, it's still pretty rubbery, but I want to get this bottom one going too. Well, I got some up here, so I probably would have gotten ink on it if I did not flip it. So, good idea, good reason to flip it, just in case. Yeah, I guess you could call it gold, call it mustard, call it dark yellow, you know. I guess it's to each his sight. Who knows? And of course, once this is set, you can always wash it after that. Let's see what we're doing here. So, first touch, very rubbery, very sticky-ish. I mean, it's not coming off my hands or anything, but it's...
Probably, I can do the next one as long as it won't, do you think?
Say again?
Can I do the second layer, or do you think you're going to have to heat set it first?
I want to do it a little longer. As soon as you're done, we should be good to go.
Okay.
So I'm going to just heat a little more until he's finished. At this point, if you wanted to do the next layer, it's okay. It's not going to come off or anything. But I want to see how close I can get it. Alright. The nice thing about this parchment paper, it just glides right over it. Once you are done with it, you can tell that it's more within the fabric itself. It's not sticky, it's not rubbery, not sticky or anything. It's just there. I mean, because he has it on a little more on the thicker side, so it's going to be more feeling that it's there. But that's quite all right, because once it heats out, it heats out. It's not going anywhere. The really nice thing about like the girly fabric here is that I can leave it here and not have to worry about it burning as easy as our stuff. So you have to be a little more cautious on ours.
Are we ready?
I'm just going to do this bottom part real fast. And you can
Sweet. Thanks, Shawnee. You are the best.
I know it's not going to come up this time, so I'm just going to leave it on the same end. It's not
Sean's simply the best. Better than all the rest.
Sing it, Tina Turner.
Actually, oh yeah, Tina Turner. Ooh, I think her documentary came out today on HBO.
Yeah, it's not as sticky or as rubbery feeling, but I know I need to go a little longer with it. But I'm gonna be done for now, so he can start his next piece on this. Just let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. Are you going to put the thing back in, or are you going to do it?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
We're good.
You can be courageous and not put the thing in there.
I will have you take that easy press mat out, though.
Oh yeah, I will do that. Cold on one side and hot on the other. If you're cold, you can just go like this. Oh, feels so good.
Okay. Well, you do the center. It doesn't matter. I'm just doing the wild and free part, not the flowers. Good.
Yeah, actually, it's really good.
Okay, so I'm just doing the wild and free. So I am gonna put down some placement tape because we don't want any of that to come up. Now, I love our placement tape. The only other tape I will use to mask off is this because it's delicate. So, is there ink over there?
Yeah, but I didn't get into it. It almost
okay. We had an ink party if you can't tell. Here's the deal about our placement tape. I love it. I just wish it was thicker. So I keep asking for thicker, and everyone's like, everyone just says...
Not thicker, wider.
Or wider, yeah. And everyone just tells me, they're like, just use 2 or use, do 2 lines. And I'm like, dude, it's not about me being cheap and because it's not expensive. It's about the time.
Timing. It's easier just to do 1 and go.
Yeah.
Not 2 and wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Sean, you get it.
I gets it.
So I'm just going to be very careful. And so I'm just taping off these flowers as close as I can to where it just says wild and free. Mm-hmm. Do not use blue painter's tape. I know a lot of you have used it in the past. I did too when we first started. That was our go-to for masking and stuff. We also lost a few transfers because of blue transfer tape. Mm-hmm. So sometimes blue transfer tape, even though it doesn't feel necessarily sticky, it is, and it can and will potentially tear your transfer.
So Sheila says,
hi, Sheila.
Am I wrong, or do transfers sometimes shrink? I don't think I've seen one shrink.
I have.
I've seen them stretch.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they shrink. I think they stretch and they don't line up.
Yeah. So
that's usually, Sheila, great thing to bring up. Usually that means you need to fuzz more before you use it the first time. And the other thing is, whenever you guys watch our lives, you'll hear us kind of joke around and say, you want to pull it up like Buzz Lightyear, which is to infinity and beyond. So do you basically want to lift up with the transfer? Because if not, you're going to stretch it. And you don't want to stretch your transfer because that's what will happen. So I don't think they shrink, like Sean said. I think they stretch.
Is it 3 or Scots? I forget.
This is Scotch Delicate.
Oh, Scotch. Sorry, Kim. I thought it was... Well, I think
Scotch... It's in the email,
it's...
too, I gave them. So if they go to the email, it says all the links I used.
There you go.
One of them says Delicate Surface, so it'll take you to Amazon. Mm-hmm. You can also get it at Home Depot, Lowe's, and it's called Delicate Surface, but if you actually look on the back of it, it will say washi.
So 3M is correct. 3M makes it, but Scotch distributes it. Yes, Scotch is the distributor, and 3M is the maker. So it's the same. Delicate or Delicate Surface.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can find it at Lowe's. You can find it at Home Depot in the painting department. They have it in 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. I think in the 1 or the 2 inch they have multi-roll, so you can save some money on it. It is a little more expensive than blue tape. Mm-hmm. Don't know why, but it just is.
It's funny because Thermoweb, which is a company during our days of paper crafting, came out with purple tape. And it was all over Creativation that year. And they said it's, for crafters, they basically were saying it's the new blue tape. So anyone that would normally be using blue tape for masking, they went and gave them this purple tape. Oh, no. I think I messed up.
Yeah. Everybody had it.
Everyone had it.
And
oh, no. Oh, it's part of the transfer. Oh.
It's part of the transfer.
It's part of the transfer. There you go. I didn't watch that. But it was funny because everyone had it, and I was like, this is so weird. And then sure enough, the company that they, were mimicking, this blue tape, comes out with this Delicate tape, and it's purple.
Yeah, it's purple.
It's like, oh.
So it's lighter. The other stuff is darker. See if we have a roll of it. So yeah, here's the Here's the stuff they gave everybody at Creativation. This is their purple tape. Same concept. I think it's a little thicker. It's definitely thicker than washi, but it's got the washi type feel. Very not really sticky, but enough to cover whatever you want to. It's thin. Don't know if they come out with anything wider than this, but this is what they gave literally everybody in the booths at Creativation was this stuff.
All right, well, that's ready to go.
Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use the hairdryer first again.
What do you think? I think it actually turned out.
I think it turned out really nice. Basically, by taking the hairdryer, it's kind of taking some of the moisture out of it before I use parchment paper and the heat press. So we're going to go ahead and put that up underneath. And since it's not that wide, I don't even have to glide anywhere. I'm just going to pop it on there and let it sit. We'll do a 30 second and see what happens.
Well, these are ready to, when you get a sec to clean.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I have to say, that one I was a little nervous about, Sean.
Well, I think it turned out great. All right, let's see where we are with 30 seconds. Sure, it's not enough. Yeah, by just taking the hairdryer for a few seconds over it, it won't stick to this. See, there's none there. This is not as thick, so this is drying a lot faster than this stuff. I still need to run this over, and I won't do it now, but I'll just do it, later on before we figure out whoever gets it. I'm just going to do a little more, just to make sure. Another 30 seconds, and this center one piece should be completely done. Oh, thanks. Who said that? Oh, thanks, Kim. I'm glad you have found us and joined us and joined us on our team.
Since this is a first one for Kim, let her know that every month people get randomly drawn to.
Yeah, so we'll there's random dryer, so everybody, even if they're not watching it live, everybody in the club gets their name placed in the random dryer, and then all three of these we give away to whoever the random dryer gets it to. So you could be a winner. You never know. Yeah, see, this is really close, and I'll do this around here later, so it's good and done. But for now, there it is.
Is it done?
Yeah, for now. I'll have to do the rest later. Let me go up to the other camera here real quick.
Okay, I'm coming.
Look at that. And just to...
Not gonna lie, that one had you sweating, Sean.
I don't think you have to sweat. I think the colors you picked turned out very nice on this.
Oh, it actually looks really good.
Isn't that awesome?
You guys! Ah!
There you go.
I thought that was gonna be a... Okay, so whoever wins that, you could still throw it away. I'm not saying you don't have to, but it turned out a lot better than I thought it was. All right, you want to get the easy press out of the way for me? Okay, so thank you so much, Ronnie.
You're welcome.
He is a pro at heat setting art ink. He always is my guy that does that. All right, so back to our second project. For those of you who weren't here, this was the horse that we painted the background, and here's the horse.
Somebody asked if you painted the horse.
I did not. They have actually a whole collection of these at Hobby Lobby. Okay, so Sean. I don't know. Is YouTube gone? I don't know. Did it go away?
No, we're still good.
Good.
I'm just not seeing any comments, but that's fine.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play around with this. So this, actually, they have them at Hobby Lobby. There's a whole bunch of them. They have one with a rooster. They have one with...
Pig, cow, horse, chicken.
The last one I have, but I'm waiting for a special transfer, because I wanted to say something like Guardian or something, is this one. I love him. Hangout.
Rocket.
Rocket.
Awesome.
Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and have Sean Scoochie Paducci. I'm going to move these over. So, the ink mat does have this. This does need to go up on your ink mat. Your ink mat, each designer is going to say something different. We do not clean our ink mat.
Unless it's like...
Unless it's got a lot of ink on it. And the reason why is it will remove its residual. The first time you use an ink mat, it seems pretty sticky, but then it becomes less sticky. All right, we do need to dry the transfer we just used. So I'm bringing that into the shot here. And I'm going to go grab my 4-inch squeegee. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to show it so everybody can see it, or at least you two people. So Kim, our new girl, so this is Kim Nesbitt Edwardson. She says, I'm doing happy. I'm so glad I found you guys. My creative juices have been ignited. My hubby probably won't like it with the new stuff coming, but he's got his music and I've got my crafting. So great. I'm so glad you could be with us now and get to see all the goodies.
Alright, so I do not show my full way I do this on my regular YouTube because I am not allowed to show other companies' products. I guess I could now because we don't really have links anymore, but our fuzzing cloth is great. It's meant to both
dry and
clean. But when you're using transfers back to back to back to back to back, you really want the moisture out of it. So I squeegee it, sticky side down, and I use the Norwex window cloth. Now, I do have a link down there because this is club and it's a closed group. There should be a party for me that you could join, but even if you don't join a party, it's not a big deal. I will tell you, this company, I love their window cloth, their Enviro sponges, their degreaser, and their laundry detergent. They're our go-tos. But the reason I love the window cloth is it is amazing for absorbing.
Their dishwasher.
Oh yeah, Sean loves their dishwasher stuff. Great. So we're going to dry it. Now we're going sticky side up.
Hey, Bobby.
I'm going to take this and just put on the back and pat it. Now, I get why this retail is $7.99. These retail, I think, are $20. So they're more expensive, and I understand why Couture gave us what we have. And for the most part, our fuzzing cloth works great. The majority of people are not using transfers back to back like this, so it wouldn't even be an issue. However, if you are someone that is, you really want to get the moisture out of there, and that's where I personally think their window cloth is.
Awesome.
You can't go wrong. Okay, there we are.
I was going to say about with Norwex and their dishwasher, if you're in a state where they banded phosphates, what do you need?
Right.
Banded phosphates, it doesn't have a phosphate in it, but there is something in it. Oh, geez. There is something in it that works just like phosphate, and boy, if you can put grimy, baked on stuff, and boy, it cleans nice.
So, this is obviously where the transfer, so we want to make sure that this is done right. When I create SVGs, I do a 1/4 of an inch offset, and I like to use a bright pad to line them up. It just makes it, in my opinion,
you're right the first time.
Easier. So, but we're not going to do anything with this. It's staying white, but what I do need to do is line it up to see where the wild and free goes on the main one. So what we're going to do is, even though we are not, we mostly want it light, we're going to, and you guys are going to be like, what? We are going to chalk it in white. And the reason why is it gives us our template then of where the wild and free goes and all that. But see how on a bright pad you can really see? See? Okay, so that's the base. And then you could chalk it if you want, but we're just going to do this one. So just to kind of walk you through what we're doing here. So once again, this is a 1/4 of an inch offset. Line it up. Now, there are a few spots on here where the plant comes in. I don't know if you guys can see it because it's so bright. So right here.
Ooh, that's almost too low. There we go. Oh, that works.
Okay, I'm just going to cover it up. So you just want to pay attention if you are using one of my SVGs, it should line up. But just in case, because I prefer the 1/4 inch offset. Everyone else has got their thing. And what I mean by 1/4 inch offset, I mean, you see around it right now, the Wild and Free, there's like a darker teal. That's the actual wood. And in my opinion, a 1/4 inch offset just is really, it's nice.
Just right.
It's just right. I agree. Okay. So, do we want to add a lot of color to this or minimal colors? What do you think? Should we keep it in just the browns and grays? Okay. So I'm going to grab my colors, excuse me, Johnny, and I'm going to start with bark. And then we're also going to use, that's fine for now, storm. Trying to figure out all the colors I want to use here, so give me one sec. Sorry, Sean. Okay. Ooh.
No.
No, it's good. But I think I'm just going to do it in bark. Okay, so I'm going to move this off now that I have it all centered. And have this, take that, Sean will take that for a quick sec. And then the nice thing is if we do miss a spot, we can just paint it on. But I think we got it all. And I am going to just grab my bark. Now, what's cool about bark at the end, but I don't have any, I should have thought of this, unless Sean has some upstairs, but if you remove bark on an item that you want, and this item that you're doing is kind of a distressed look, go get coffee grounds and sprinkle it on like glitter. It will give it the coolest look. We don't have coffee grounds because we use K-Cut. I guess we could cut it up in a K-Cut, but it'll be too late. So if you've never done it, it's really cool look. It almost looks, I mean, it looks like a real good antique dusting. Uh-oh, one of my placement tape came up. So we might have to fix some spots. Which, no big deal. I'm going to have you dry that. I'll be right back. We have a couple spots we need to fix, but that's easy breezy. By the time I'm usually done with my Club Couture live and that month, I'm surprised the transfer even makes it, because it's been used like 7,000 times.
Yeah.
So I'll fix the mistakes, and Sean's going to get that dry. I got it, Sean. Thank you. You're,
I know. Hold on.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so you have a couple options. Can I have you go a little bit more over that way? Because you're going to have a lot of water here. Thanks, Shawnee. You have a couple options. We do have, of course, paintbrushes that, I mean, you could do the ink, but in my opinion, it's easier to just use our good old chalk markers. So these chalk markers come in white, black, it's a combo pack, and then silver and gold. And I freaking love them. Now, they are not paste. A lot of people buy them thinking it's the same consistency. It's not. But to fix mistakes versus trying to do a paintbrush and get that all, this works just awesome. And this one is almost at the end of its life, and the only thing you have to be careful about then is sometimes at the end of a chalk marker's life, it comes down in clumps. It's really good in the beginning, but unfortunately it just at the end, because unless you have them stored facing down, gravity takes over. But I will take it any day over paintbrushing it. And like I said, normally you wouldn't have to worry about something like this because it would be, you're not going to be utilizing a transfer back to back. The reason why we have so many mistakes on this is we've used this transfer now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 times. And today alone we've used it 4 times back to back. So the reason why we have all these little mistakes is because it's, no matter how much moisture we get out of this thing, it's still going to have some moisture to it. So look at it though. How easy is that? Oh, how easy is that? I'm going to dry it and fix one more mistake. Let me go back to showing them your drying job.
Job what? What am I showing?
Are you done drying?
I think so, yeah.
Yay! Alright, so this guy can go chillax. And Sean, thank you very much for doing that. I'm going to grab my bright pad again. And this time we're going to grab, I think I'm only going to raise up these flowers now that I think about it. Actually, I'm going to do, because that's a lot of layering, so we are actually going to do this layer. I wasn't going to, but now I am. So once again, bright pad just lets you center it nice to where you know where your offset is. We have the Glowforge. I create these files, so I get to create the offset. The nice thing, for those of you who have a Glowforge or thinking about getting one, a Glowforge does have the ability to create an offset now in its program. So what this means is you can actually chalk on a piece of wood and go do an offset with it. All right. So we're not going to use these. These flowers are the ones that are going to go up here and down. Right here and here. And then, of course, our Wild and Free is going to go here. So I'm actually going to probably have our Wild and Free get raised up even more than that. So, and I want to do these in gold, so I'm going to do these in the other ones. Okay, so I'm going to grab the Golden Hour and Storm. It's going to be kind of a mixture. Not a hot mess. I'm going to try to get the flowers in yellow, and then maybe I should just do all yellow. What do you think? I'll see. We'll see what I can do. We'll see, Sean. Well, you know what? Maybe I will just do a hot mess. What do you think?
Well, I don't know.
Okay. You know me and hot mess. I love it. You can't go wrong with hot mess. Can you?
No.
I don't think you can, but...
Cannot.
So for those of you who do not know what hot mess is, when I joined Couture, there was this big fun thing people were doing on their canvases where they'd paint them, and then they would put a little bit of bright colors, and then they would put black vinyl on it, and then it would look like a hot mess. And I was like, we have to find a way to do that with Couture, and we did, didn't we?
Mm-hmm, we did.
It's fun. So hot mess literally is just that, because it is
messy.
It's messy. You are going to have it where you're like, ooh, I don't think I'm going to like it. I will say I'm a little nervous just because this transfer has been used so many times. I'm not 100% confident that we are not going to have some unavoidable leaking. just because of how much we've used this transfer today. It's pretty moist. And I hate that word. I try to avoid that word at all costs, Sean. But it is. Uh-oh, my squeegee fell. Yay! All right. Grab that. We won't be using these again, so we can put those on. We'll just need to use this one more time. So I'm going to go wash it, if you want to dry that for me. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, good. Do you know where my bright white paste is? Found it.
Right there.
And then you have the option to hot glue this or to super glue it. I am going to super glue it just because I don't want the hot glue, what I call spider webs, to come out. You remember that song? I'm sitting in a spider web.
No.
No?
Nope.
By No Doubt. Leave a message and call you back. One other thing to keep in mind if you're a Glowforge owner looking at the Glowforge, we cut out on draft board. Draft board has pros and cons. The first pro is it's cheap. Very, very cheap. But the biggest con is you can't do too many paint layering on it because it will start to, it's almost like does little pilling on you, doesn't it?
A little bit, something like that.
And we've discovered that through many, many projects. So I always tell people just be careful not to use, what's that?
So we want to know what colors you were using. So
I'm sorry.
There is Golden Hour, Storm, Bark, Dune. You didn't use this one.
No.
No.
Not yet.
So there you
go. Okay. So do you want to grab the super glue we used and show them that?
Mm-hmm.
So I found this super glue also at Creativation one year. And pretty picky on my super glue. And this stuff I love. It literally does set in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
A couple things to keep in mind is it sets so fast that you need to
make sure you know where you're putting your stuff.
Yeah, because it sets quick. Oops.
You may have a couple seconds to move it, but once it's down, it's down.
Okay. Oh, I can't do that yet. You have the super glue up. I'll let these chillax. Gotta finish my last thing, which is this. So we get to dry or transfer this poor transfer. Oh, look at it. We actually get 2 of these because Sean's a Club Couture member and designers get one. But I keep one in perfect condition that will never get used, because I want to have our Club Couture transfers. I think it's fun to have those on record. So we're missing a few. I have pretty much all of the In Vogue colors except for Pumpkin Pie and Parakeet. I need those two. Okay, so this last one is the flowers. We're at a point where this is a pretty wet transfer. So every once in a while, and I don't recommend doing this all the time, you can take your hair dryer on the hot setting and dry it really quick. The reason I don't recommend it is if you get too close with hot setting, you can melt your transfer. And that just is sad if you melt your transfer, Sean.
It is very sad.
We also discovered that the bad way. Well, not a bad way. Can I get my bright pad? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this one goes... This bright pad we accidentally discovered by mistake. We were trying to do our door sign, and I was having the heck of a time lining stuff up, and the bright pad was here, and I accidentally hit it with my hand, and it lit up, and I was like, oh my gosh, what if? And it worked, and I was like, oh. So then I told Chuck, I was like, we need one of these, because I hate doing or giving money to anyone else.
This one looks like it's like almost on the edge instead.
It's on the edge of glory. I'm always happy when Sean points out my mistake.
Mistake?
No, I'm saying that as a good thing, because I would have looked at that and been like, oh, man. Better?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, we do have to put a little bit of placement tape here because these flowers just want to be best friends with each other. They do. So we have just a little bit. You guys, I am not sure that this poor transfer is on its last leg. It'll be fine once it dries. We're going to have to let it get a healthy dry time, Sean. Okay, we are done with that, Mr. McCoy. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm just going to grab the almond. Or wait, no, this is Dune.
Dune.
Used to be almond. Okay, so you can add glitter pretty much to any of our paste. As soon as you pull it up, you just want to add the glitter. A couple things we've discovered about glitter is it's great. You want to do it right away so it can adhere to the paste. If you are a person that wants to make your projects last forever because you love them so much, I would not spray our glitter. Our glitter, or any glitter in general, it will dull it. And you will be very, very sad. I'm going to show you this in just a sec. I have to fix one little spot because this poor transfer, he says, give me a break. But look. Oh man, I love it. It's the little things in life, you guys. I'm telling you. The little things in life. Okay, so I'm going to do the top flower. Now, a lot of people say, why are you using this over our shimmer? Don't get me wrong, our shimmer paste I do love. It adds bling. It just, in my humble opinion, isn't very, you know, like, ta-da! And I want the ta-da. So put it on. Ta-da! Alright. Sean left the room because glitter gives him panic attacks. He doesn't like glitter. And then he's going to come in and say, don't get me wrong. I love glitter. I think it's beautiful. I just don't like the mess it makes. See? So true. I wouldn't lie to you guys. Alright, so I'm going to go give him this since it's on. It's final. We don't have... Sean, it's done. It doesn't need to be... It's ready for its final cleaning. That transfer's so happy. It's like, I don't have to get cleaned again. Okay. We definitely have to brush up our glitter so Sean doesn't have a panic attack. We put this off to the side because I can never clean to Sean's standards. Okay, the other thing I recommend if you're going to do glitter, I got this. And I love it. And that's what we do to clean up the glitter on the ground, which I'll do after this live. But all right, let's put this bad boy together. Okay, so this is going to go right here. Okay, but first, before we do anything, I'm going to grab... Oh no, where is it? Oh no, am I out? I'm going to be so sad. Maybe it's in there. I had like a ribbon.
Ribbon. Ribbon.
Oh no. There's no way I could be out. Well, shoot. Man. How did I not know these things?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I do not know.
I guess I could substitute this one. Oh! No. Now I'm really upset, Johnny.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's not your fault. We have to just improvise.
My boyfriend calls me glitter toots.
Glitter tits?
Toots, not...
Oh, toots.
Not.
Glitter tits? Jeez. I'm really sad, you guys. Oh, well. We'll use this instead. Okay. So, I'm going to take this. We're going to do 2 of them. I'm improvising this, so... Because I'm out of the stuff I actually
Interesting,
wanted.
I can't see who said that because it hasn't popped up.
Can you hand me my staple gun?
Mm-hmm.
So I was, I don't know, I thought I had it, but maybe not. I was going to use ribbon that was basically like a happy sack. What are those called when people go on they jump down the...
Burlap sack.
Burlap sack, thank you.
Potato sack is another name.
Yeah.
Potato onion.
This will be fine though. So, okay, so Sean has...
I think I'm going to need the longer ones.
Okay. So we're going to use our staple gun. He's changing it out to the longer ones.
Yeah, the short ones are in there, and that's a thick piece of rope. If it was small, it would be like
So grab the staple of out and just here. Now, the reason I love this is a perfect companion to our hot glue gun. So I'm going to check this because we want it at max. And what that means is how deep will go into the wood. I'm going to turn it around and make sure we are pretty straight. Doesn't have to be perfect, but right about there. We also have the nail gun. I tell you what, I love these tools. They're one of my what I call my manly toys. I don't get a lot of man toys, but I do on these. Perfect.
I have to get a new one because I had one that broke.
Very sad, Sean. I'm very sad for you. Okay, so this is going to go right here in between. And we're going to have to do a rope anyways to hang it. But you want to make sure that obviously it's being supported by the rope. So because I am using not my hot glue, my super glue, I'm just going to put it on the rope. What do you think right there? Okay. The next layer is going to be the wild and free, which is going to go right here. And then these, in their respective spots, are going to go here and up there. So, I'm going to start with the wild and free.
Hi, Janessa. Yes, this is a beautiful piece, isn't it? Love the horse.
But see how by painting just that background, the horse now pops? Before, you barely saw the horse. And we're just going to line this up with the wild and free we had down below. We're going to give it a few seconds to cure. And then these actually, I'm going to have go down here and up here to fill in this space. Couple of reasons. Number one, they won't fit here. And number two, I just think it will look better.
So, Miss Isom, Jennifer's asking...
Hi, Jennifer.
Why are you not using the glue gun?
The hot glue gun?
Yes.
Because...
It creates a lot of spider webs.
It creates spider webs. And originally, this was going to have a Berber, or whatever you called it, background. And the hot glue would have been, it wouldn't have been as easy to glue. Now that it has the rope, sorry, I should tell you what I'm doing. So I really want to fill in the, can you zoom in on the D or the F or the R? It doesn't matter really. I want to fill in the space where you see the white because I didn't get it perfect. So just paintbrush and closing up that gap so that way you don't see the white because it just looks like it's not painted then. So I'm just taking a little bit of our chalk paste, watering it down just a little, and we're just covering those areas. Once again, probably something no one else would really notice, but it's just something I wanted to do. Oh, this would have really looked good with the coffee filter around on it, but whatevs. Whatevs. Maybe next time, right? Okay, so... Ooh, look at it. All right. Last but not least, if you ever use glitter, one last little tip I have for you is grab our detail tool, which I am out of because they're all being used. So I'll use my metal one and double check the areas to make sure there's no glitter filling in. Because sometimes glitter, it gets chunky and just hangs out where it's not supposed to. And we want to define a little bit more here. Just be careful with canned air. Some people will... Sorry, Sean. Some people will use canned air. Canned air in the beginning has a lot of pressure, and it will actually sometimes get rid of all your glitter. And just make sure you're in a well-ventilated area with canned air because it's got a bitterant added to it. And if you inhale it, it tastes like crap. It's like got an orangey... I don't know how you... It's just bitter. Like bitter orange, huh? All right, so these are going to go hang out on each one up above and here. That's on there good. That's on there good. Should I do one off to the side or just in the middle like that?
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle, Sean says.
I did, Jennifer.
What?
I got glittered.
I'm sorry.
No biggie.
I only glitter those that I love.
I know you do.
You know what? I am not a big country-ish person, but this is cute.
You almost out?
What?
You almost out?
Yeah, but I have like 10 more down below. Okay, so we're just going to let that chillax. It takes about 30 seconds to adhere. But it's pretty strong stuff. I love it.
Yeah, it is pretty good stuff. I'm very impressed with it.
So I have extra pieces here that I'm not going to use. You could, if we wanted to, add some more details, but...
No need.
No need. All right, so we're going to give that a quick second. I'm going to grab some stuff here. Bring in our other projects. So you can grab... I'll grab the sauce so we can put that one in there. So there's this one. If you want to put all this on the back counter, I can get it out of your way. Now, we didn't make the saw, of course, tonight, but...
We did that a couple nights ago.
At least this way you can see all the different inspiration for this month's transfer. And then you guys can tell us which one your favorite one is. Okay, so I have to tell you, I do actually like their stock project. Sometimes they're hit and miss for me. This one I loved with the bright colors. I have to say, even though I was nervous about this pillow, it kind of delivered. What do you think, Sean?
Look at that.
So we made, of course, this one, Project 1, Project 2, Project 3. This one we didn't make live, but that way you can at least see how to use it. And on the board, just for those that ended up getting here late, this is the color that the board used to be for the horse. So you can see how much we lightened it. I actually like that rope now that it's on there.
I do too.
Okay, so what's everyone's favorite? I gotta know.
Charlotte likes all of them. Anyone else? Which one do you like?
So we, except for the saw, we'll be giving all of them away as a random drawing. What's your favorite, Sean?
I love the horse.
You like the horse?
I love this one. This is
The
so
horse,
cool.
the horse, the horse, of course.
Of course, of course. Love the bright colors. The saw is pretty.
Yeah. It was a
like
fun
the
life.
saw, pillow, horse is gorgeous. Cannot choose.
Okay, so we'll show them up here. They should have had enough time to dry. Yep. So we got Project 1. We'll announce tomorrow who the winners are and, of course, ship them. Just a sec.
And says, no, who's it?
Are you zooming in or not? Am I just holding this? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't know if you wanted me to.
Well, you had the remote, so I didn't know what you were doing with it. All right, so Wild and Free. Love it. Project 2, which I thought was going to be a dumpster fire. Not too bad.
No, I think it turned out really good.
It turned out perfect. And then Project 3, which was a paint / Glowforge / a horse of all trades. That's probably my favorite. Mm-hmm. I love it. But I love anything with Glowforge and dimension and depth and stuff. So we will announce the winners tomorrow. For those of you, don't forget, I sent out an email with all of those links and everything that's coming. Don't forget, we have until the end of March for the March 25th, 25% off form. And it seems like every Thursday has been a release day for us. So we try to get you guys the information, but they usually only give us the list of what's coming back in stock an hour before the release. So that's why a lot of times it's so short notice. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to put your entries in for all of the $100 Club Couture. So all of those links are in the email that I sent to you guys. We will post the winners here. And as soon as you guys know, once we do your Happy Mail, we usually give you videos and photos saying the Happy Mail is coming. So the Happy Mail should go out the first week of April, we're hoping.
The one thing you're waiting for is still coming.
It gets here like 2 more days. So Love it. So, all right, you guys. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us. And
happy birthday to Kim,
happy birthday, new person. We love it. And I hope you guys have a good Sunday.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, all.